Frid och välkomna till morgonuppdateringen den 27/10/23 från kaféet här. Man talar nu i det tysta om Mellanösterns Great Reset ifrån End Time Ministries. Man säger att detta kommer att spela de globalistiska krafterna som FN och EU rakt i händerna. Ja, det får vi inte glömma bort, den här globala agendan som vi hela tiden förut har rapporterat om. Ni vet WHO och pandemin och klimatet. Det pågår ju, så att man har ju inte hoppat av det här. Men det här kriget som är nu och allting, det har ju fått blickarna bara att stirra emot Israel. Och det är ju meningen också, vi ska ju se på fikonträdet, men glöm inte bort att se på alla andra träd också. Just det, alla andra träd är ju alltså nationerna. Nu samlas ju alla till Mellanöstern precis som Bibeln har sagt. Så det är något på gång som vi ska lägga märke till. Det är inte samma armé som före den 7 oktober, säger forskaren Harel Chorev. Man har under natten alltså flyttat fram sina positioner och egentligen så har markoffensiven redan startat. Och det visar även den här videon som följer. Den libanesiska kanalen Al-Meadin hävdar att en observationsbas i Eritrea där israelisk militär är närvarande har också attackerats. Och det är ju märkligt, men norra Afrika nämns ju också här i Hesekiel 38. I natt så har USAs militär attackerat 2 baser tillhörande revolutionsgardet i Syrien. Svaret kommer då efter 16 attacker mot amerikanska baser. Och vissa säger att 20 har dött här. Offer alltså. Efter den amerikanska attacken i natt kommer det alltså en militär rapport som säger att man har skjutit mot de amerikanska baserna i Al-Omar i östra Syrien. Ismail Hanaya, ordförande för Hamas politbyrå, poserar framför kamerorna på torsdagskvällen precis som han gjorde förra veckan i ett syfte att hetsa folkmassorna till fredagsdemonstrationerna för Gaza som kommer att hållas imorgon i olika städer på Gazaremsan. Ja, man har ju fredagsbön och efter det så brukar det ju bli upplopp och demonstrationer. Det kan vi nog förvänta oss i olika städer i världen också, skulle jag tro. Vi får vänta och se vad som händer. Det är ju fredag idag. Ja, och så måste man ju balansera upp sig också, vet ni, och hålla ett ansikte utåt. Han klagar då och säger att det är ju väldigt synd om medborgarna här då. Och du vet att man har ju lagt in en massa bilder på människor här som är fejkade. Och visst är det synd när det blir krig, det blir ju så. Men det gäller ju också att hålla ansiktet mot FN, att det är ju väldigt synd om de här nu för att man ska få med sig den stora massan här då i slaget här. För det är också ett mediakrig och i det mediakriget står vi på Israels sida, eller sanningens sida ska vi säga här. Ja, sen gäller det ju för honom också inte att tappa ansiktet då inför hans militär. Barbarerna här då, styrka dem. För man kan ju inte säga vad som helst åt dem heller. Det gäller att hålla en balans här alltså. Ser ni det? Och i Egypten då vill man ju tydligen ha igång någonting då. För det landade en missil igår kväll i en administrativ byggnad nära sjukhuset i Taba i Sinai då. Som en resultat skadades 5 personer men bara liten skada på byggnaden. Man misstänker att källan är de jemitiska hoterna, alltså som skickar iväg en sån här långdistansrobot då mot mål. Här kommer videon då med de grafiska bilderna. Gud välsigna er och tack för all förbön och stöd som vi får, det går det åt. Vi har aldrig upplevt så mycket strul vid inspelningarna som när vi började med det här den 7 oktober då. Det är ju helt sanslöst för jag lov att säga, men vi står mitt i en andlig strid. Vi ber och vi söker Herrens ansikte och vi ber att Gud ska strida och bevara Israel. Gud välsigna er alla. Amen.
northeast of Gaza have started moving, as the 10,000 Israeli soldiers already stationed in the city of Sderot began advancing towards the Gaza border. Bulldozers started clearing the border fences. Israeli tanks have also taken positions in the open areas just east of Beit Hanun, a border town in the northern part of Gaza. Meanwhile, tanks in the west of Sderot have opened intense protective fire to safeguard the advancing tanks. The Israeli army has established a 1-kilometer war zone in the northern border region of Gaza. The Israeli soldiers and tanks that will start settling in these areas took their first step to the east of Beit Hanun. A large military convoy was spotted on the 4th highway. It is expected that this convoy will soon establish itself at the border post near Gaza. Sharpshooters are already positioned at the border post. Sharpshooters are responsible for the first line of defense against possible terrorist attacks to the south of the post. Thus, the Israeli army has initiated a comprehensive advance in the northeast of Gaza. Sources in the region expect the Israeli army to be fully deployed in the 1-kilometer war zone within 48 hours. After 48 hours, the large ground operation will officially begin. Currently, due to regional ground operations moving troops towards the battlefield from their borders, unmanned aerial vehicles have also started patrolling over Gaza continuously. Local sources are also confirming the role. It was determined that Hamas was preparing for an attack. Hamas was preparing a large-scale attack with short-range missiles in the eastern part of Beit Lahia town. It had been revealed that terrorists located about 5 kilometers away from the area where Israeli tanks entered were planning a major assault on that area. Warplanes and drones immediately targeted the 3 points identified. As a result of the significant explosions in the area, the ammunition that the terrorists would use was detonated in the air, creating a loud noise. In short, the terrorists were neutralized without launching their attack. However, Hamas organization launched a short-range missile attack towards Tel Aviv from the area northeast of the Jabalia settlement. The air defense systems in Tel Aviv immediately began efforts to intercept the missiles fired directly by the organization. According to the latest reports, the Israeli ground forces conducted a major operation to the east of the Abasan al-Sagira town. This operation, carried out quite deeply, marks the first time that the Israeli army has entered so far into Gaza. Following the removal of the border fences, the Israeli army, along with tanks, entered the outermost residential areas of the town. Infantry units with tank support conducted raids to locate hidden terrorists in the region. A raiding team meticulously inspected the greenhouse areas in the region, conducting a thorough search operation on the outskirts of the town. Since there was no sign of potential conflict in the area, Israeli forces determined that the area was clear after the raid. However, to find out if there was a tunnel network in the area controlled by Hamas, special operations teams dispersed in the region inspected the entire first layer. Afterward, the team inspecting the second layer couldn't progress to the third layer. Due to the high density of structures in the area, Israeli tanks did not enter more residential areas. In case of a populated area scenario, Israeli forces withdrew back to the first layer as tanks could become easy targets. During this operation, unmanned aerial vehicles actively provided intelligence to the strike group, making a significant discovery in the south of Khan Yunus. An unmanned aerial vehicle that had pinpointed the location of the Hamas rocket unit commander carried out an attack with precision-guided missiles. While the Hamas rocket unit commander was on the move in a vehicle, the unmanned aerial vehicle successfully hit its target. Following this attack, the area where the commander arrived was identified. To the west of the area where the attack took place was the current main gathering point of the Hamas organization. Israeli fighter jets directly targeted this gathering area. As a result of the attack, local sources reported that a significant number of terrorists had been neutralized. On the other hand, the Israeli army initiated a major attack on its northern border. In response to continued attacks by the Hezbollah terrorist organization from southern Lebanon on Israeli border outposts, fighter jets launched a large-scale operation directly. Israeli fighter jets conducted a massive bombardment against Hezbollah forces, constantly launching attacks from the forested area to the west of the Labuna town in southern Lebanon. After the bombardment in the region, a large fire broke out in the wooded area. As a result, during the fire, the ammunition hidden in tunnels used by the Hezbollah organization for shelter in the wooded area, started exploding. Due to the fire, the Hezbollah forces in this area can no longer both launch attacks and take cover. Meanwhile, in the northeastern area of the Arab al-Aramsha town located in northern Israel, 3 Hezbollah terrorist organization headquarters were blown up. Subsequently, Israeli artillery units began shelling the area. After the aerial attacks in the region, Israeli border guards also took extensive security measures to protect the town. To the east of the Shatula town, Israeli fighter jets conducted a major bombardment in the forested area to eliminate the terrorists hiding there. Following the bombardment, a large fire broke out, forcing the terrorist organization to flee the area. The Hezbollah terrorist organization had been continuously launching attacks on towns from these wooded areas. However, due to the bombardment by Israeli fighter jets, there was now only a small wooded area left where the terrorist groups could hide. Therefore, due to the natural cover provided by the forested areas along the borders, Israeli fighter jets once again targeted the wooded area, this time located directly to the west of the town. Subsequently, artillery units struck the gathering area of the terrorist organization in the southern part of Aita Ash-Shab, a border town in Lebanon. To the east of Kiryat Shmona, the most critical city in the north, Israeli forces have successfully established a strong defensive line. This has effectively halted any infiltration attempts by the Hezbollah terrorist organization in this area. The terrorists can only launch attacks using rockets and mortars, and the air defense systems in place to protect the region continue to intercept these attacks. Meanwhile, attacks on U.S. bases in the Middle East continue to escalate. Following nearly 20 attacks on military bases in the past 10 days, the U.S. Department of Defense spokesperson Brigadier General Patrick Ryder announced that approximately 900 troops will be deployed to the Middle East. Brigadier General Patrick Ryder, spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Defense, officially disclosed the deployment of around 900 troops to the Middle East with the goals of dissuading a broader conflict and strengthening the protection of U.S. bases. General Ryder did not provide specific details about the exact deployment locations, but he confirmed that they would not be going to Israel. This confirms that the U.S. military is indeed reinforcing its bases in the Middle East to enhance security. We'll see what happens in the coming days.